About 3 years ago, I remember I had been making music for about 2 years at this point. I had what you would call a lot of experience, but I wasn't able to make the music that I wanted to make. I couldn't get the sound that I wanted. I would get frustrated. I would feel like I wasn't creative, and I would just give up every single time that I tried, and this led to a lot of dissatisfaction and just pure frustration towards music, to the point where I just basically wanted to give up. What I didn't know at the time is that there's one single thing that you can do to solve this, and it is something that not a lot of people on YouTube are going to tell you. It's not going to be fun, it's not going to be interesting, however, it will work. Now, what would happen for me personally is I would get on my computer later at night and I would get a lot of motivation to make a song. I would go on SoundCloud and I would listen to some underground rappers and I would hear what they were doing and I would think to myself, holy fuck, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to go find a beat like this. I'm going to go find any type of beat that I can. I'm going to make a song and it's going to sound good. I would have a lot of optimism towards this. So basically my mood was up here. It was just like this, right? I would get into making the song. I would try and write some lyrics. They never came out good, which was already frustrating, but I would try and just put them down. I would listen back. Then my mood was down here. It would crash through the floor because I just had all this optimism. I had all this motivation. And then there we go. We play the song and I want to blow my head off, basically. This is something that you go through. Thankfully, I'm going to tell you the solution to this in this video. But so anyway, when I was at these lower points, what I would do is, because I was feeling this pain behind what was going on, I had already been making music for 2 years. I still fucking sucked. I still wasn't achieving the sound that I wanted. And I had to work a job soon. I wanted to make music my living. So I had the stress of all of that just piling up all together, and all of this just led to me wanting to numb out my pain. So what I would do is, instead of forcing myself to make music and continuing to make music, I would go numb it out. I would either go on YouTube, I would go on Instagram and just scroll for hours, I would go on Discord and hang with my friends, or I would go play video games. And this, my friend, maybe you don't do this. Maybe if you don't do this type of stuff, then this video isn't for you, and I'm sorry for wasting your time. But if you do this, I can tell you this is the mistake that you're making. In order to become a creative person, in order to generate things out of thin air, essentially, you could say, and in order to be someone who can write good lyrics, come up with flows, make better music in general, what you have to do is you have to face this pain right here. And the way that you face that pain is not actually by making more music, because you are going to, what's going to happen is you're going to get really frustrated with the music making process if you try and force yourself to do it, because I tried that too. I would try and force myself, and I would legitimately get a headache because it was too fucking much. Like, I wasn't coming up with anything, so what's the point in forcing myself to do it? That doesn't work. What worked for me is, personally, I would just bore myself. I would stop numbing out with all of these bullshit things like YouTube and in social media, video games. I would stop numbing out with that, and instead I would just sit there with myself, maybe with a piece of paper in front of me, and I would just ask myself what I'm feeling. I would say to myself, what's going on in my life? I would start writing. And I know what you're thinking. It's fucking boring. It is boring. That's the pain that you need to go through to become the version of yourself that can make the music that you want. You've probably never heard anything like this, but the current version of you is right here. This version of you wants to numb out. He wants to not face the boredom. He wants to not face the fact that he sucks at music. And so he just hopes and hopes and hopes and hopes that things will get better. Then there's the version of you that will actually face this version of you, and you will destroy it. You'll become the person that can kind of just sit with the pain of not being good, feeling bored, and eventually what's going to happen is you're going to break through that, and then it's going to go from down here up to here, because now you're making the music that you want because you faced the pain of breaking the old person that you were. So essentially what you need to do to become a better artist, just in general, this is going to improve every aspect of your life. In order to write better lyrics, come up with better flows, and just feel better about your music in general, bore yourself. Stop numbing out. Stop chasing external things to make you feel better about the position that you're in, and just face the fact you suck, but then keep working through it. If you need one-on-one help with your music, I run a community full of, I think we're almost at 80 people, 80 different students in this community that you can join. First link in the description. You're going to get like 10 courses that teach you all the things that you need to know about making music, all of the fucking beautiful stuff. It will literally make your music sound so good. And then on top of that, unlike the other YouTubers who want to sell you vocal presets and then just don't give you anything other than that, we have a full community where you can ask for feedback every single day. I give one-on-one feedback to all of my students. You can ask me questions and all sorts of this type of stuff. So if you want to just check that out, first link in the description. You can just go see what that's all about if you do want the extra boost to your music. I hope this helped you maybe a little bit. Maybe it wasn't going to help everyone, because maybe not everyone numbs out and not everyone thinks the way that I do. But personally, for me, the best thing that I did was just start boring yourself and just stop trying to chase things that distract you from the actual problem, and that is that your music sucks. Thank you for watching my videos, bro. I really am grateful for you, and I love you, bro. Mwah.